And we are live. What is up, everybody? Aaron the Dog back with breakdown number 2 of 3 on the week. UFC, San Antonio, Fight Night, Vegas, Apex, whatever they want to call it, breakdown. I'm not doing my breakdown from the same room as Lou, even though it kind of looks like we're in the same messy extra bedroom.
Aaron, shut up.
But sorry for being late. You guys don't care why I'm late, but life happens. So anyways, we've got however many cup fights on the card. Maybe it's 14. I always say it's 14, so maybe it is. But either way, it's Chito week. Don't make it a secret. This is a Chito podcast. But at the same point, I'm excited to hear how Cory Sandhagen is going to point his way to a win, because that appears to be either Chito's going to bop him on the head or he's going to point his way to a win. Probably a little more to that fight than meets the eye, though. So we'll talk about that. Talk about the rest of the fights. Let's go ahead and hop into it. But first, let me ask how my co-hosts are doing. Sorry, I'm out of it right now. Just my 2 cents. You're my co-host today. Third in command is Lou. 2 cents. How you doing?
What's up, boys? How are y'all, man?
Good, man. Good. How are you doing, man? How's your week?
Doing well. I'm doing very well. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having me, as always. Shout out to the third man down there, Lou.
One down low.
No, I'm very happy to be here. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Looking forward to breaking this one down, man.
Yeah, we got a lot of yam bag talk here. In
Sweeping it's sweeping the nation.
Mr. Yambag himself, Lou Bagya. How you doing today?
We called both of them on the prop show last week too. We hit
Correct.
both of them.
Yeah, it's getting amazing. I mean, the accuracy is kind of insane at this point. We're missing and I think the one we missed a couple of weeks ago was by a fight. I think it happened to fight before our fight, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
so
draw bags happens, but I got the Klein one. Somebody else on the prop show called the main event.
Nicely done.
Almost got draw bags twice on one card, but let's go.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super pumped for this card. I think it's a great card. I've heard people say it's tough to bet on. I don't really agree. We actually have reasonable lines. We have
undercard sneaky good, Aaron. Undercard sneaky, except for the first fight. Undercard sneaky good.
Exactly. And let me go ahead and Johnny absolutely gets it. Yambag Sensei is correct. Johnny in the chat, very entertaining individual who's suddenly has a like for these breakdowns. So hopefully we can get him back into the love of UFC. He's been a little out of it for the last year or so. So, it happens. But yeah, first fight is elite, according to Kelly. Let's go ahead and get into it, because it's Haley Cowan, Brennan, whatever her name is.
What's up with your screen?
What about my screen?
It's like an inch wide. What's going on? We don't get full screen. This card does not warrant full screen.
What am I supposed to do? I haven't done anything differently.
I don't know.
Why is it so? Is it that much smaller? I don't know. Well, either way, I apologize. I'll try to figure out the screen situation here. I didn't change anything. This is my backup. Is that better?
It's getting there.
Okay. Tell me when.
That's good. That's fine.
Okay. This is okay.
It's for the people.
That's that sweet spot right there.
This is the sweet spot. All right, great. So, can you see me now? Yeah, good. All right, great. That was a joke. I'll put the timestamp here to start out the breakdown. We're off to a great start here. I am on my backup computer, just to remind you, Lou, as my laptop did get stolen earlier this week. Thank you very much.
Yes. Sorry.
It's all good. Thank you very much for making it better. But we're off to a good start here. This fight deserves a sort of pickup. We go from Haley Cowan taking on Aileen Perez a couple weeks ago to taking on Tamiris Vidal, who won against Aileen Perez by getting kneed in the clam bags. If you want to watch a hilarious fight, go back and watch that. Tamiris, I guess, has the upside of these two fighters because she can throw some Muay Thai strikes occasionally. She had that knockout as well. Haley Cowan is a gymnast. She's athletic. She keeps her head pretty center. Doesn't have a lot of finishing ability. I guess if she did, it would be in the submissions, but her win against Claudia Leite on Contender Series can't leave a lot of inspiration, if I'm being honest. Tamaris Vidal, not really that great either. I'm not really going to freak out about the Ramona Pasquala fight because it's Ramona Pasquala. She went for a bunch of heel hooks against Braga, finally got one. And Eileen Perez, she faked a clam bag shot in the third round. Either side, good luck with it. I will take Haley Cohen by a decision, but it's my least confident pick of the year. 2 cents, my co-host. You get to lead off this one.
Nice, dude. Thank you. This fight sucks, and this is like a battle of like who's worse.
Right.
It's a battle of who's worse, and to me, who's going to end up getting on top, because both of them kind of fight the same way, but their striking is shitty. Like, I'd say Vidal has more power, Cowan, whatever, maybe a little bit more clean, but neither one of their striking is very good. They both have decent grappling, but what I've noticed is that like both of them kind of suck from bottom. Like, it's if Haley Cowan is the one pushing Vidal up against the cage and getting the takedowns, she's going to win. If it's Vidal, she's going to win. I'm going to pick, God, I can't believe I'm doing this. I was going to pick Eileen Perez over Haley Cowan. I'm actually going to pick Haley Cowan to gut this one out. It's going to be a really ugly fight. But I'm ever so slightly leaning her because I noticed that Tamiris Vidal is really vulnerable to like upper body throws. And like, dude, she like, I can't remember what fight it was, but I think it was the that Czech chick that she fought.
I mean, her level of competition has been absolutely
terrible.
horrible.
And the chick like grabbed her head and just like threw her over.
Jindarova,
so, like,
you're talking Jindarova?
Yes, dude. She just literally, she didn't even head and arm throw. She just grabbed her head and threw her over. So like, if Cowan hits a judo throw, like a hip toss, she's going to probably win the round. So I'm going to ever so slightly edge Cowan, but this fight sucks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Lou, are you going with the theme of the big underdog in low-level MMA? Because this is low-level MMA, and there was a big underdog at one point.
I don't want to add too much more to what you guys said, so I will add this. Vidal has 0 decision equity here because you haven't brought this up yet. We're in Texas, so let's the judging absolutely cap the judging into your decision process this week.
Agreed.
It is of paramount importance. Well, how does Cohen lose? She makes mistakes and gets submitted. Tamaris Vidal's submission is almost 6-1. If she's going to win, it's 550. If she's going to win, that's her path. I'm not saying bet this fight, but if you want any kind of value on a bet, Vidal sub at plus 550, because she ain't winning a decision. Unless she's winning 10-8 rounds, she ain't winning a decision. And if she's winning a 10-8 round, she's putting Cohen away. I think Vidal's probably going to be stronger. She's not the better athlete, but she's like a tank. So I don't know that Cohen
she's a tractor, Trattora.
So I don't know that Cohen is going to be able to like really bully her around. If it stays on the feet, Vidal probably has a slight edge. But if it hits the ground, I know that Cohen can hold her down. So give me Vidal sub as a prop if you must play this. I will not be betting this fight.
Yeah, I'm not betting it either. Minus 125 on Haley Cohen, plus 105 on Tamaris. That Tamaris.
Joe Solis. There we go. I've waited for Moise. Texas legend.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, exactly. And Moise Audio going with the truck driver. I'm not sure which one's the truck driver in this case, but either way.
Yeah. I fully support not betting this. It's too greasy. Like, both of them are too easily reversed, and they both go for stupid shit too much.
Yeah. So I mean, it's too bad we lost Ling Na versus Brogan Walker. And didn't have the back-to-back openers of Ling Na, Brogan Walker, and Tamiris Vidal and Haley Cohen. But don't worry, my least favorite taped guy in Dana White Contenders tape history is coming up here. Vinicius Salvador has the worst striking habits I've ever seen and gets away with it by facing absolute trash cans of opponents. He is so bad. And I just think that people do not understand what he was facing in Shannon Ross. Shannon Ross has the worst strike defense in the history of the UFC that I've seen. Every single strike thrown at him in 2 fights has landed. He just eats them until he falls over. That's what Vinicius Salvador got to do. He was born to be on the carousel of Moise. Moise, you need to bring the carousel back here because Vinicius Salvador is a carousel fighter, and this fight is lined the way it is. You are crazy. Victor Altamirano all day in this spot. Much better IQ, much more well-rounded, actually holds his hands up, is more than one-dimensional as well. Like, I'm sorry. Vinicius Salvador is an embarrassment. Yes, Shannon Ross got signed to the UFC after that loss too, by the way. Just letting everybody know. And just remember how he did against Clayton Rodriguez. Another one of our most valuable spots. So we've gotten to benefit from this Dana White Contenders Series freak of a matchup between Vinicius Salvador and Ross that resulted in 2 contracts from 2 guys who both didn't deserve it. I'm telling you, Altamirano is taking this. He's an LFA champion as well. He's been pretty good in the UFC as well. He mixes it up to all 3 levels. He has got decent jiu-jitsu as well. Vinicius Salvador is just going to come out there and try to be chaotic with the strikes. It's not going to work here with his hands down on the sides. That terrible movement. He's just a long flyweight. That's it. I mean, like, Altamirano is going to tear up the legs, then, put him down, ground and pound him out or sub him. Like, but Altamirano is better everywhere, better experience, better level of competition. Get out of here, Vinicius Salvador. He is terrible, and you're not going to get a price like this in Vinicius Salvador's next fight. So just take advantage now. Altamirano dominates this fight. Lou. Bueno.
So I'm picking Altamirano here.
No, I don't believe it.
That's not Brazilian hat.
But I'm not betting him pre-fight. I'm going to bet him live after round 1 because that's when Salvador is going to have the optics. It's when he's going to have the cardio. It's when he's going to be pushing forward, throwing reckless punches. Altamirano, I don't love that he holds his head up, but he's pretty tough. I mean, he doesn't get KO'd. I don't know what path Salvador has here other than early KO. If Salvador has a good first round, and I expect him to, then what price are we going to get on Altamirano live after 1? You can get plus 200?
Mm-hmm.
Better? So I'd say wait till after round 1. If Salvador wins in round 1, you didn't lose a penny. If he doesn't win in round 1, I don't see how Altamirano loses. And he's the one with the grappling upside here. So I think he's also a sneaky good play in DraftKings because nobody's going to own him. He's cheap. He's like 8,000, something along that 7,900, something like that. He's pretty cheap. Again, his look at his problem. His problem is he gets taken down a lot. He's not worried about it here. So if he stays on the feet after round 1, I think Salvador's going to have nothing. He was tired round 2 against Ross. Ross just stinks. So I'm here for Altamirano, but I love the live angle a little more than I do pre-fight. You get a way better price.
Yeah, fair enough. I really like it both spots. Honestly, I just think this is like, I know that the UFC is not LFA, but when I picture this fight, this is a pure LFA fight right here. If this was in the LFA, like Altamirano's in my LFA parlays all day long. And I know that's kind of a weird thing to say, but at the same point, Altamirano's faced some really legit competition as well. The UFC experience, like, I just don't think I think he's winning this fight end to end. I really do. And last fight, I get it against not a great level of competition. He showed that first round ability as well, which I like. And this is just a spot I don't want to miss out on a plus money on Victor, but I'll probably be looking at the live angle as well. 2 cents. Do you like Vinicius trash Salvador?
Salvador by KO, bro. No, man, like what for real though? What is Salvador's path to victory? Like knocking Victor out? I don't think that's gonna happen, dude. He's pretty fucking tough.
Anytime he's faced any level of competition, he's looked terrible and lost.
Victor's weakness is sub-grappling. That is not Vinicius Salvador. Dude, I don't like his defense, and I really don't like his chin, dude. You go back and look at his knockout losses, they are shadow realm, dude. Like, he is getting put the fuck out. That Eli Frank Carolanio, that
Yes.
was a bad knockout, dude. Like, he got fucking flatlined. Philo flatlined him. Dude, even that dude, Wallace Vampirino, whatever the fuck his name is, he buzzed that dude. That dude's only had one fucking fight. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if Altamirano knocked him out. Like, his striking is a little wonky on the feet. You could say maybe Salvador has cleaner boxing, but dude, Altamirano is the way better fighter here. If he gets on top of him, he's just going to fucking pound him out. So I tend to think that Altamirano finds the finish. He definitely wins the fight, but yeah, I can't disagree with y'all.
Yeah. This is like, honestly, maybe I'm overblowing this and I look really dumb by
No, you're not, dude.
Next week. This is one of the most off lines of the year for me. Like, there's nowhere that Victor should be the underdog in this spot.
He's not going to get one punch, and if he gets hurt, he'll just fucking take him down and win.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't think people know what they're seeing with Vinicius. So yeah, needless to say, I love the plus 100 price on Mr. Altamirano here in Texas as well.
He's an underdog?
He is the underdog.
Are you fucking kidding me? Good Lord. All right, hold on.
It truly doesn't make sense to me. This is, I think, one of the most and this is what happens when you look at the prelims.
Are they really giving him the fucking chalk because of Shannon Ross?
Because of Shannon Ross and a bunch of cans in Brazil. Like,
they clearly don't rate his De Silva win highly.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. No one should be rated highly for a De Silva win. Like, I mean, look at what we're doing here. We're talking about him in a minute anyways. We'll get to him because obviously he should be higher on this card. Sure. De Silva should face Shannon Ross. That's a fight I don't know who I'd pick. Probably De Silva, though.
Ross.
Yeah, we'll see. Definitely an interesting fight. Next fight, very interested to see if Lou's hat makes another return. Manuel Torres taking on Trey Ogden. Maybe he has a hat for Trey Ogden also. I mean, this fight seems to be kind of as simple as I think we've got Manuel Torres, who's very explosive. He's got all the muscles. He's got all the looks. He's Mexican. He's a hard hitter. Am I talking about Zellhuber? No, I'm talking about Manuel Torres. Hopefully, in this fight, there seems to be an issue that fighters have had with Trey Ogden so far. Maybe it's the fighters. Maybe it's something Trey's doing. They don't seem to want to throw against Trey. And if the volume is an issue, again, I'm worried about Torres, especially if Trey Ogden's been studying his Imanari rules, as Torres has lost 2 fights by leg locks. One to an 8-7 fighter who couldn't find a lot of tape on him. So a little bit of a worry there. Trey Ogden, a super high-level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's not training over with Glory anymore because Glory doesn't exist, but he has his own gym he's running. I mean, Trey Ogden's tricky. He's older at this point. He's wily. Manuel Torres has his birthday on the night of the fights, turning 28. Torres is so much bigger, so much faster. You would think be able to crack him in this spot. Trey Ogden, 16-5. He's been around. I mean, he doesn't have this. He didn't have a super bad loss to Levitt. That was just not a good fight. In general, it was a weird fight to judge. The Okanovich fight, okay. But like, it's just, he's faced a certain level of competition and he's lost to a certain level of competition. His best win definitely being Lucas Clay, who definitely could make a run here. But other than that, like losing to Nick Brown, losing to Thomas Gifford, losing to Levitt, I think Manuel Torres is on that level. I've really liked how he's been looking. So far, I don't like that he took off so much time after the Frank Camacho win. It's a little bit concerning there, but at 27, getting much, much better. Looked really good on the Contender Series again. I actually liked Colton England in that spot quite a bit. And I mean, Torres just not giving opponents a chance here. He's also killed in the first round. So we don't really know how this fight looks as it goes later. It's hard to get the Zellhuber fight out of my head here, but I'm going to go with Torres. I don't exactly know when though. And it's a spot where I kind of think about the second round play because it pays better, but maybe I'm being crazy here. Just my 2 cents. Are you Team Mexico or are you going back to America?
I won't take it back to the States on this one, Bo. It's not my most confident pick. I just think Ogden is such a better grappler. And like Frank Camacho is so chinny and washed. I know he's not that old, but like
It was post a pretty bad car accident.
yeah, it's just I don't know, man. I feel like Zellhuber, I know he's a lot younger, but I feel like he's sort of similar to the same level as Torres. Like they've kind of fought a similar level of competition. You brought it up, the guys he's lost to by submission are not very good. I think Ogden, if he gets it to the ground, man, he's going to fucking smoke him. Trey's tough, but this could be the first time we see him knocked out. I'm just not seeing that. I'm going to go with Ogden. I do kind of feel weird about it. I feel like it's one of those where it seems like, oh, Trey could never get knocked out and then he gets starched. But I'm gonna go with Ogden. I'm not betting it, but give me Trey.
Yeah, fair enough. And again, this is one I'm very aware that the ECA or the recency bias might be playing in, which is overused in this place. But Lou, show me what you got. The Trey Ogden hat.
I already had the Trey Ogden hat on. This is the one that goes over the Trey Ogden hat. I like Torres here. I'm going to give you an interesting way to play this fight, though. Fight to end by submission. You're going to probably get like plus 170 on it. It's weird to me that Torres' KO prop is not as wide as his sub prop. Ogden's been in 21 fights. He don't knock anybody out. He's never been knocked out. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I mean, look, you look at Ogden's last two fights, he got out-volumed by Levitt, and then he out-volumed Zellhuber, who threw nothing. He's not going to out-volume Torres here. I think Torres is going to come out hot. He's going to throw some shots. He's going to hurt Ogden. Ogden's going to shoot, and he's going to get guillotined. Ogden's been choked 3 times. Torres has 3 choke wins. If your book offers you some weird prop, but he can win by a guillotine or a rear naked choke, I would take it. I think Torres sub, and I think Torres sub pretty early, round 1, round 2. The subs plus 325, I'm all about it. And, if you really, like I said, if you're really leery about betting Torres because you don't like his level of competition, or for what 2 Cents said about like you don't like some of his sub losses, fight to end and sub's going to be plus money. I would rather do that than the under. I don't see a KO here one way or the other. So,
yep, Moise approves on the read. Levitt is a K1 legend, and Trey's gonna panic wrestle.
He's gonna shoot right in. He's gonna shoot right into like a DDT, and that's gonna be that.
And Torres is pretty massive for the weight as well. Like I feel like even though he's listed as shorter than Ogden, I don't believe those measurements, and I'm fairly certain Torres is the bigger guy coming into this fight.
I did not make this bet to wear the sombrero twice in a row. I want to make that crystal clear, though.
Yeah. I heard it all before. No, I'm just, dude. It must also be said, like, if we're going to talk about how bad Torres' sub losses are, like Gifford, he's a pretty good grappler, but that's not a good look. No. It's weird. I don't know, man.
Minus 145 after being like a plus 290 underdog against Zellhuber.
The other thing is, like, what is Torres going to look like in round 2, round 3? He's only gone out of the first round once. It was a split to like a kind of a jobber. So like, that's another thing. I'm kind of like, maybe Trey's cardio a little bit better. I don't know though, man. It's a weird fight.
Yeah. I agree. Minus 145 plus 120 on the Ogden side. So the odds makers definitely replacing or respecting Trey much more coming into this. Torres also has 5-6 years on him coming into this fight. So, or Ogden does, I should say. All right, we get to talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Daniel Da Silva taking on CJ Vergara. This is a flyweight fight. For some reason, it's higher than Altamirano and Salvador, but it is what it is. Daniel Da Silva is there a less trustworthy guy in this division? Is there a less trustworthy guy? I mean, he just kind of has a good moment or two at the beginning and then just implodes. 3 straight times it's happened now. The Jeff Molina fight, probably his best showing, to be honest. But there's some holes in his game that were filled in the second round by Jeff. I know that was weak. Then he got knee barred by Brad Pickett Hart, everybody. Francisco Figueiredo knee barred him, so that lets you know something about him. And then, yeah, he was ground and pounded by Alto Moreno. He won the Salvador sweepstakes, but he just blew it in December because he botched his weight cut. So he had a chance for me to pick him. That was going to be it. I was going to pick him to sub Vinicius, but of course he botched the weight cut. So we have weight cut issues. We have talent issues, skill issues. He's lost 3 straight fights to decent levels of competition. CJ Vergara right in there with about this level of competition. CJ, he's okay. He's had his moments in the UFC. He's had some close fights with Ode Osborne in New York. I was able to watch that. It was a decent showing. Just got started a little too late. Put it on Clayton Rodriguez and won that fight very clearly, in my opinion. And then the Taira fight, Tatsu Taira is the best flyweight in the world, in my opinion. So, there's no real shame there. I think he's learned a lot from that performance. He has a massive step down from his first 3 opponents, probably first 4 if you include the Contender Series, because I think Bruno Correa also better than De Silva. I mean, I just think Vergara puts kind of that steady pace on. He does kind of turn it on more as the fight goes on, so I wouldn't be surprised if De Silva takes the first round. So maybe another spot where a live bet could be possible, but I just overall think that De Silva's pretty terrible. So I got CJ Vergara by decision. Lou?
Yeah. So I know everybody's hammering the under this week, but it's almost minus 200 for a flyweight fight, man. I can't do it. I can't get there. I'm not saying bet the over. That's not at all, but I can't for this price, this weight class. You're talking about betting Vergara live. I mean, you're assuming that he doesn't just smoke this dude in the first round. So it's tricky for me. I'm going to pick Vergara. His money line's minus 270. His in the distance is minus 200, which is insane.
Yeah.
So the pick is Vergara. I have nothing really.
De Silva has the Makwan curse. That is.
Oh man.
Fair.
I mean, Makwan has more cardio than De Silva. De Silva has.
That's what I'm saying.
For 90 seconds, man. But
and Vergara's from San Antonio.
Yeah, that would matter if it went to the judges, but you're worried about the first 60 seconds of the fight if you're picking Vergara, and then past that, De Silva just, I don't know, but Vergara's not traditionally not a guy who puts you away in 2 minutes. So
yeah,
might take his time, might wrestle here, but Vergara's going to get him out.
Makwan taught De Silva everything he knows.
First 2 rounds he probably wins, but at minus 200 for the distance, I'm not trying to get there.
Yeah. 2 cents. Are you on the De Silva train here?
De Silva, let me see. Let's see what we got for De Silva. Got no chin, no heart, no fucking cardio. You got no nothing, dude. Fucking CJ Vergara is giving this motherfucker his pink slip. He's going to walk right up to him and say, "Hey, Daniel, I talked to Dana. He couldn't be here, but he wanted me to thank you for your services, and they are no longer fucking needed." It's a 4-fight contract usually. This is number 4, unlucky number 4. Yeah, you can say Vergara, I don't know, man. He's about the same kind of level as Altamirano, Figgy's bro, but
yeah.
Daniel De Silva is definitely a step down for him. And I think he's just gonna whoop him. He's not gonna get sparked early because I think he's too tough. He's a little bit of a slow starter, but yeah, you mentioned the Makwan thing. De Silva falls off a cliff. There's some of his regional fights that you can't really see if they went the distance or not, but most of them he either wins in the first round or fucking loses in the second or in the fucking first. So yeah, Vergara could get him out of there early too, but yeah, it's CJ all day.
Yeah. We're all with it here. Minus 275 on Vergara, who's been, I believe, an underdog in his first 3 fights in the UFC. So underdog, massive favorite. I get that's going to trip some people up. I think there's a lot of reasons to really like Vergara here. So I do agree. So we are all on Mr. Vergara here. First 3 fights or first 4 fights, we got 3 unanimous and 1 split on a fight that none of us are betting. So Great.
I did it just to cause interest.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, exactly. Viewership.
Hey man, plus 550 for a sub prop against somebody who stinks and gets sub. Not terrible. You have to bet it.
Yeah, you have to. We don't have a choice. But next fight on the card, this one is very interesting. One that I've been back and forth on, if I'm admitting. It will not be in Zhang Li's parlay also. I don't know where Zhang's at. Da Silva has chinny lungs. Well said. Maybe the chinniest lungs in the sport. And he's at flyweight. That's a good combination. This fight, Trevin Giles, Preston Parsons is at welterweight. Trevin Giles just had his first win of his career at welterweight against one of the Koski brothers, and it was like hardly a win. I went back and watched it. It's not good. Kind of makes me wonder if everything that Giles is putting into making it to 170 is to make it to 170. And once he's there, can he really kind of unlock, drink every time you have him mention the jab of Trevin Giles and the boxing of Trevin Giles, his loose movement, and that he was a cop. These are all the things that you're going to get every Giles fight. He has the advantage on the outside with the striking in this one, I think. And with Preston Parsons is a guy with either crashing with the takedowns, like within 5 seconds, I can see him crashing for the takedown. If he doesn't get those takedowns in the first round, if Giles is able to get up and kind of get this fight to be kind of stand up in Preston to start throwing on the feet, which he kind of is willing to do after a while when the grappling hasn't gotten the submission. I get it. He had a great performance against Elder. I don't really rate Evan Elder. I'm sorry. I'm not sure if I rate Trevin Giles either. It is a tough fight to call because I think for Preston, the sub is very, very live. I'm kind of curious how he gets it there and keeps it there once it's down, because Giles has pretty good takedown defense. Giles doesn't throw enough on the feet for me. And I feel like I just wonder if Parsons takes advantage of those moments, like the lack of activity in those moments, to get his own game going, or if he kind of falls into Giles' range more. I don't trust either guy very much in this spot. I'm going to go with Preston Parsons as of now. And I do think I'm going to go with the submission, second or third round perhaps. But this is one that it's tough to say. And again, go watch some of these wins that Giles has had, the Delize fight and others. Like, it's just, it's kind of, these are kind of some wolf ticket wins. I'm not sure if he's a legit 170er. I don't really trust his mental game either. Preston Parsons, I think, is a live dog here. So I am going to go with Preston Parsons. I'm going to go with the submission. And I'm going to say it happens in round 2. But, I mean, I think this is kind of going to be a war till it's not. Parsons could get this down very early. I'd be very curious to see how Giles responds. The one thing I will say is I like when guys who have their stand-up game shirt up go and try out the grappling, which Giles has done. He's done some grappling competitions. I do like that, but there's some problems that come with that as well. And I just think the weight cut is the problem for the problem Trevin Giles. So I'm going to go with the pressure of Parsons. Decision, very live as well, but I'll go with the submission. Let's go with you, 2 cents.
Another fight that I just cannot fucking stand. Please, if there is a god or a higher power, please take this fucking fight off the card, dude. It's so sketchy. It's so greasy. Man, I can't really push back a whole lot on the things you said about Giles, but I will say this. Yes, it's annoying that the cop shit always gets brought up, even though it's kind of fucking irrelevant. It's annoying they always talk about the jab, the loose movement. But here's what's undeniable. Trevin Giles has fought a much higher level of competition, and he has much better wins on his record than fucking Preston Parsons. You can say the Delize win is sketchy, but still, it's a win over Roman Delize. How would you even fucking make Preston Parsons versus Roman Delize? And how would you fucking line it? Everyone's saying he got Rob versus Vittori. Would you even make fucking Preston Parsons versus Delize? Probably fucking not, right?
Well, I mean, it's different weight classes.
But just think about that fight happening. That's just not gonna ever happen. That's not possible in a world.
Okay.
Is it really?
No.
Roman Dolidze versus Preston Parsons.
Right. I'm not arguing the level of competition, but it's like those were like lifetimes ago.
It was a few years ago. Like I don't trust Giles. I really don't. I just think it's hard to, but I just think he's a slightly better fighter. He's a better striker. Neither one of them have great chins, but like, again, dude, he's fighting guys like Drecus. Like Parsons is not that dude. He's not that powerful. He's a grappler. Like Giles does have pretty good takedown defense. I hate that I'm doing this, but I'm going to pick Trevin Giles. I think he's just going to grease one out, pop him with the jab. I don't know, man. If Parsons can get it to the ground, maybe, but I don't see him keeping it there. I think Giles is going to fucking grind one out. I don't know. Fuck this fight.
All right. We're split. Lou, I have an idea where you're going with this one.
Parsons has been to Mexico, so I feel like I can wear. I actually like this fight a lot more than 2 Cents does, and I love Parsons here, and it's not because I think he's related to Johnny Parsons, my favorite fighter of all time.
Yeah, he's
if you look at the resumes and like nothing else, and then you look at the money line, you're like, why the fuck is Giles minus 110? Mm-hmm. Like it doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. Like if you look at the resume versus everything else,
you watch.
Yeah, you have to watch his fights and see how they end,
Right. Like if you just like on paper, you're like, how is this like a pick?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this guy's going from Elder. Yeah, exactly.
But that should tell you everything you know. Like that should tell you everything about this fight. And like Parsons, forget about just his MMA career. This guy's got like a pretty good wrestling background his whole athletic life. Like this dude's like, and look, he can't strike. He took the short notice fight against D-Rod. I mean, and then he'd get like figure forward. He like he took the short notice fight against D-Rod, tried to get him down. Like he shot for a takedown immediately, didn't work. And then he got pieced up on the feet. His boxing,
Mike Perry fucked him up like really bad
in his second fight of his career.
Like he gets fucked up by good strikers. I'll throw that out there.
Giles isn't a good striker.
He's not a terrible one either, though.
Yeah. Well, it's not. Well, he's going to have to strike off his back because this fight's going to be on the ground in 20 seconds.
Right.
Parsons shoots immediately in all these fights. He's aggressive. If he doesn't get the takedown, he's still pushing you against the cage, and then he knows to just work the double leg and get the person down against the cage. That's what I like is he knows his limitations. He knows he's not a striker. He's not going to sit there and try to have a boxing match. And his cardio's good. I mean, Elder, you say you don't rate Elder. I mean, his last performance, and that was a short notice fight too. Mm-hmm. His last performance against Sadikov was, dude, he looked all right, man. I mean,
Elder's won the fight.
But I'm saying Elder's not bad. And Giles is like, look, losing to Morales is, yeah, it's fine. Losing to DDP, I'm like,
Elder fucking sucks. Who has Evan Elder beaten? Motherfucking nobody. Nobody.
He beat Giles. So like, I don't think Giles is good. I think Parsons gets this to the ground. I think he gets. I'm with Aaron. I like the sub in round 2. I love Parsons in this spot like a ton. So, and you'll know within a minute if you won this bet. If this thing doesn't hit the ground by the 3:59 mark of the first, I'm ripping up the ticket. So,
yeah.
But Giles takedown defense, it's on paper it's 75%, but the guy is really not fighting anybody who's trying to proactively get takedowns. Parsons will. I like the position over submission just to wear people out. I mean, look, and as far as the Elder stuff, he had Elder in like all sorts of trouble, and Elder just never gets finished. He like refused to sub. He was getting choked for like 4 minutes. So yeah, I'm big on Parsons here. It's one of my favorite bets of the card, and you don't have to get cute with a prop. Minus 110 is a good price. Like if he just ends up, if he gets to the third round, he just takes him down and realizes he's up 2-0 and makes it boring. Like, then you're not sweating the prop. Like I love the prop as well, but minus 110 is a great price for a guy with an insanely clear path here.
Yeah, no, I agree. Minus 110 on both sides here. Another really funny fight to go back and watch. Giles' fight tape is hilarious to watch. It really is, especially recently. Definitely go back and watch.
The Kosei fight's disgraceful. It's just fucking disgraceful, that fight.
I mean, it kind of shows you what type of pace he has to keep to fight at 170.
I think the under was like one of my like heaviest bets I had made in forever. And I'm like, and it was dead. It was dead within like the first minute of the second round, I'm like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Like what are they doing? Was this just like, I don't want to get cut from the UFC?
I mean, and
Like,
he's had a couple performances like that. Giles has. Look at the James Krause fight as well. He gets very hesitant in situations. So I'm just saying, good luck on Giles Island there, -110.
Oh no, I'm not betting Trevin Giles. I cannot. I don't see how y'all are so confident on Parsons, but we will see.
We shall see. This next fight is one of my more confident fights on the card here. I'll be honest, I love the price on Mr. Steven Ocho Peterson. I'm not going to beat around the bush here. I think that my worry is, can Steven Peterson make weight? He's missed weight 2 straight times. He's gotten to fight those fights still, and he won one of them, and he went to a split with Julian Erosa in the other one where he was like, oh, Julian Erosa was like -400 or something. For me, this fight, we don't know how good Lucas Alexander is. He's a decently sized guy, but the instincts in the reaction to the pressure of Brito in that fight kind of made me quite worried about him moving forward. I'll be honest. I think that in this fight, Steven Peterson's going to put on a pace. I see JR saying decision all day for Alexander. I'm very much on the opposite side here. I think that Steven Peterson, unless they cancel the fight because he misses weight, then your bet will be void. Steven Peterson is going to pour it on Lucas Alexander. Lucas does not respond well to the pressure. And I get it. Joe Anderson Brito is maybe a little bit higher of a rate than Peterson, but I think Peterson's really, good. He's always underrated as well. So you always get these great lines on him. A fight that, I really liked of his that this reminds me of would be the Bravo fight. And Martin Bravo got knocked out with that real clean spinning back fist after he missed his own. But Bravo came into that fight. It was in Mexico City. Peterson loves going, kind of into other people's backyards. He's now fighting in Texas, and I think that is going to be a huge advantage for him as well, especially because he is a decision type of guy. For me, Peterson puts on a pace. He throws more strikes as the fight goes on. Lucas Alexander hasn't fought a great level of competition either. There's some things we don't know about him, sure, but I just like the things I know about Peterson. I like the level of competition. I'm not worried about the weight cut, even though he's missed 2 straight times. I'm just going to put that away. One of my favorites on the card, Steven Peterson. And I think that if the finish was happening, I think it would be submission, because the way that Anderson locked that in so quickly was pretty concerning. But I think overall Peterson by decision is what I would go with. Lou.
So I still have PTSD because I had Peterson split decision over Erosa at like plus 1,400.
Oh.
And I was like, man, I got this one because he had the takedowns damage. I want him to come in heavy because, of course, the fight's going to happen. He's probably going to be wrestle heavy. Give him 5 extra pounds. And more importantly, I want him to come in 5-6 pounds over and then ask for the privacy curtain, even though it's not going to help him, and then flex again after he misses weight by 5 pounds. Like, what a D-bag move. I love it.
He's got that dog in him. He's got that dog in him.
That Arosa fight's probably like the best no-stakes fight since like Leonard Garcia and the Korean Zombie. Like in terms of just, oh my God, this fight had no business being that good. Yeah. Alexander, I mean, beating Jason Kilburn is not something I rank when I look at these guys. I think Alexander's skill set's okay. I'm not going to – I don't care about the Brito fight. He took that on pretty short notice. Like, that was like less than a week notice. Brito just kind of stormed them. And Brito's, like, size-wise is just, like, he looks 3 weight classes bigger than anybody he's going to fight.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. Peterson, look, I don't know that I want to compare Alexander to Hooper in skill set, but I'll compare to what Peterson did in terms of strategy, like completely neutralized anything Hooper could do on the feet immediately. Mm-hmm. And every round within 30 seconds was like, yep, like I'm not screwing around. Like he like threw a couple of feints just to get a takedown. I mean, if Alexander's going to win, he's going to probably have to hurt Peterson really badly and compromise him in round 1. Like, the only thing I've seen Peterson really get hurt with is body shots. So if Alexander's working some body shots, maybe some kicks to the stomach, he could hurt him. But I kind of see, and Peterson's proven his cardio is good. His cardio was great against Arosa. Like, he looked fresh. He just wasn't the more skilled guy. Arosa's pretty underrated skill wise. It's his chin that's the problem. Right. Arosa. It's not his skills are all right. More skilled than Alexander. I think Peterson can kind of just drown him here. The Peterson decision's plus 155. It's not I don't love the price there. Especially because we don't know how Alexander is going to look in the 30. If he's death gassed from being grappled for 10 minutes, I think if Peterson finishes live, you mentioned the sub, ground and pounds there too. Like, I don't want to screw around. You're giving me Peterson at minus 160. Like, I'm all for it. It's a great price here. It's a weird fight. I don't know why they're booking this. Because if you want to highlight Alexander, give him another striker. Like, give him a fun striking battle. This is going to be vet savvy, like all day.
Yeah, that's exactly what I see it. 2 cents. Do you see this differently?
Absolutely not, gentlemen. No bearing of the lead here. Ocho Peterson, Sobmish, big experience and grappling advantage. I think he gets the sub.
Yeah. No, I pretty much agree. And I just think that, like, they just will refuse to ever give Peterson like above like a minus 170 line, just because, like, for whatever reason, you don't want to believe he's as good as he is. But it's pretty battle tested at this point. Yes, he has 10 losses, but again, I don't really blame. I don't mind that. I mean, he is. Yeah, I think the pressure, the pace, the forward moving of Steven Peterson's terrible for Lucas's game here.
Aaron, let me just add this. I don't think he's good. I don't think Steven Peterson's good. I think
he's good, showing who's not UFC caliber.
He's a solid gatekeeper, but his fight IQ is surprisingly good. Yes. And I think he knows how to, like, there's a very, very clear path for him here. Like, and it's literally as soon as this thing gets out of the first round, I think you're good to go.
Yeah, no, I mean,
even if he loses the first round, I think you're good to go.
Yeah, I agree. We're all in agreement here on this one. Yeah, he's one of my favorite favorites on the card. He really is. So it's kind of scary when Steven Peterson's one of your favorite favorites, because, you know, that kind of lets you know about the card a little bit. But regardless, I'm excited about it. This next fight, I'm not that excited about. Tucker Lutz is like one of these guys that I can't figure out why he keeps getting favored the way he has. I haven't been able to figure out in the Contender Series, haven't been able to figure out in the big leagues either. But Top Gun, Tucker Lutz, is 12-2 now. Lost his last time out by getting absolutely controlled on the ground, being from Team Ground Control by Pat Sabatini. Pat Sabatini backpacked him for 3 rounds. Tucker tried to like wrestle at some points later in the fight for some reason, and Pat was just like, there's levels to this. He was able to out wrestle and just kind of hold down and, you know, dominate Kevin Aguilar. Great. Sherrard Blackledge, great. Chase Gibson wasn't able to finish any of these guys. All were primed to be finished, and this guy just wasn't doing that. He was finishing guys when he was facing guys like Trevor Thompson, when he was facing guys like Cole Presley, Wesley Golden, Timothy Wade, 3-14, 7-11, 6-3, 2-2. I have not been that impressed with him so far. In the UFC, he's also coming off major back injuries all of last year that kept him out. He said he avoided surgery, but it's not good for a guy who's bending over and going to be wrestling a whole lot. However, Daniel Pineda has never won a decision. 27 wins. He's never won a decision. He's not winning a decision here. Like, can he, you know, kind of crack Hurd and submit Lutz? Sure. Am I going to pick that? Probably not. Like, am I betting Tucker Lutz at minus 285? No. Like, I don't know what to do in this situation here, because to me, I feel like there's no winner. So is this the fight that I actually am for the first time ever picking a draw? Maybe Pineda really hurts him early, gets a 10-8, and then just falls off a cliff. But Lutz doesn't appear to be able to finish a sandwich. He was able to finish a bunch of scrubs, and I get it that Pineda is typically finished in his losses. Was finished the last time out by Cub Swansea. He was dropped a bunch by Andre Fili before the eye poke. Yeah, I get it. He's lost by decision 5 times, so I guess I'll say that. I guess I'll pick Tucker Lutz by decision. I want to bet Daniel Pineda so bad, man. It's in Texas as well. This line is just so tempting. Lutz plus 250 for a decision, I guess, is decent, but I'm not betting it. But yeah, minus 250 money line, you're sick. 2 cents. What's your thoughts on this one?
Okay, so I am a little bit biased on this one. So I have a karate background and like some boxing, but the only MMA training I've done technically is I did the free week at Ground Control. Is actually their Columbia branch. So shout out to Ground Control. I'm dude, I can't really push back on what you said. Like Lutz has not been overly impressive. He's kind of stiff on the feet. The news about the back issues do not give me a ton of confidence. It's just a fade on Pineda. Like
right.
Pineda, his last fucking leg. He's 37. He's chinny. He's washed. He made Cub look like he was like, dude, is Cub back? No, he's not. It's like it's just Pineda is just a second run jobber. Lutz is younger. I definitely don't like the back shit, but I think you don't wrestle him. Pineda's takedown defense is really shitty. I think Lutz is just going to grind out an ugly one. But, yeah, shout out Ground Control. Let's go, Tucker Lutz.
He trains, guys. Don't question him.
I train, bro. 1 week free class, bro.
Lou, did you train at Top Control?
No, I trained on the streets.
Oh, my. Undefeated.
Cool hard knocks, baby.
My bar fight record is like 54 and 52.
All right, there you go. It's plus.
It's pretty. Plus. It's a lot, but it's you should see the other guy. Hey, half the time you should see the other guy.
+2. Half the time +2.
I mean, I'll pick Lutz. I don't want to talk about this fight. I'll pick Lutz. He has the grappling upside. Pineda's takedown defense is 42%. It's so bad.
This is the featured prelim, by the way.
I don't get why Lutz is like +110. You see, like almost a 3-1 favorite. He's +110 in the distance. With a guy that has no finishing ability, doesn't even throw strikes on the ground. Like he's not working for subs. He's not throwing strikes. Fuck's he doing? No. Like he's like trying to make love. Sweet love down by the fire.
Yeah.
Top
Gun Lutz, highway to the dangerous zone. And Lou minus 2,000 in
the
the streets.
No, not anymore. Now I'm the plus in the front. I have the same odds to win in a fight as a yam bag shot. At this
Just oblique kick him. He's done.
Yeah. I do the old pro wrestling. What's that? And the guy looks the other way, and I've still got some legs. Still got some speed.
Pineda does look for a way out sometimes too. So the yam bag.
I mean, I don't know, man. I'm never literally I would rather bet the Cohen fight than this fight because what am I doing? At least
that's fair.
At least you're flipping a coin if you bet that fight. You're gonna get value no matter how you bet that first fight. You're not getting any. Oh God. Well, my hair is getting pretty long too. And I do like using 2x4s. I like using any.
This is this the Texas robbery, Lou? Is this Pineda's first decision?
I think
Are
Pineda's
we sure? Are we sure there's not going to be like a damage control?
The Texas decision's coming up soon, but
this could be it. No, that's real good.
I got my one. I got my one already that I like a lot for that, but I don't know, man. Pineda by the third round is going to barely be able to move and Lutz. I mean, even if Pineda wins the first round, Lutz is going to just probably bore us to death 2 rounds. So Lutz is the pick. No bet. I'll go across the street and get a beer. Maybe get a brawl and come back.
This is an absolute stake fight, in my opinion. Because most likely, I feel like it's going to go 15 minutes, even though Pineda, I don't think can go 15 minutes usually. But Lutz is that positionally controlled.
Aaron, does the walk to the cage count the 15 minutes?
No.
Then it's not going. Then I don't know if he's going to make a 15 minutes.
Oh my God. Well,
he might get.
I'm not going to bet it. I'm not going to bet it. It's not like I'm betting the over 1.5 or something. No.
He may get gassed during ref instructions. He may actually get gassed out.
Yeah. No. Jack's saying there could be more than one Texas robbery. It is the only way I see Pineda winning a decision is the Texas robbery. So that says something. Currently, Mr. Lutz is minus 275 to 295 plus 220 on Mr. Pineda here. Don't do it. Just stay away. go cook your food, because the next fight of the night, main card time, middleweights here. I decided with this fight, I'm not going to do a whole lot of thinking, because when I saw this fight announced, I went, oh my, Albert Duryev is in trouble. Every time Albert Duryev gets touched with a punch, his eyes swell up. He's been knocked out 4 times in 4 losses. Chitty punches very, very hard, hits hard, has good enough defensive wrestling and good enough IQ that I think the first time he hits Albert clean, Albert's going down, in my opinion. So I'm sorry, this is boring. This is basic. Chitty first round TKO, first round KO. Like, I just do not think Duryev is a skull or chin. He's going to be panic hooking and wrestling immediately. I think Chitty's going to stuff it or land a knee or something on the way in. Duryev is wolf tickets, man. He should have lost to Kopylov too, but he didn't. The way what Buckley did to him was just an absolute crime. And I think Chitty's going to create another crime scene. So maybe you take a shot in the second round TKO, because Chitty's very aware of that wrestling in the first round, much more defensive. But, I mean, it's Chitty all day here. I'm not overthinking it. First round KO. Luke.
I really wanted to take a shot at Duryev here.
Did he really say this, Jack? Duryev said at media day, people better not sleep on his striking.
Well, he's got the sleep right. He's got the sleep word right. I really wanted to take a shot on Duryev here at the price. His last 2 fights, this is the only stat you need. He was 1 of 9 for takedowns against Kopylov. He was
against Kopylov.
He was right, and he was 2 versus 9 against Buckley, and Buckley was probably like, "The fuck are you doing, man? Like, why are we grappling here?"
Right.
Chitty's a big dude. I think his takedown defense is pretty good. I think his cardio is better. I mean, look, man, there's a lot of arguments to be made that he wins round 1 KO against Rodriguez, who's a million times better than Duryev. They just didn't stop that fight. I mean, we could see the dude's brain and they didn't stop the fight. So I don't know what more you want in a round. We know the guy's going to come out and he did stuff a takedown against Rodriguez too. Yep. So I don't know how Duryev gets this fight on the ground. Every second this fight's on the feet, Duryev could die. It doesn't need to be a volume-based, and it's not volume-based. Just one shot, he could be done. So
yes,
I think if you want to go to round 2, you're going to be clenching your butt cheeks for 5 minutes. I think round 1, I don't think this thing goes long, and I don't know. I also Duryev I don't think he shows any heart. Didn't really everybody's talking about how he quit between rounds against Buckley. Dude, his body language was bad the whole second round. He looked like he wanted to be the fuck out of there. Halfway through that round, he looked like he had it. So he stopped throwing. He was just moving. He wanted no part of any exchanges. It was just him trying to get to the end of the round. So I think Chitty just going to walk him down.
Agreed.
I mean, the KO prop's not great, but play around with stuff in your book. I mean, if DraftKings has I know the KO is plus 100. I just want to look at something before we move on, because I'm looking for ways to approach this.
I think
here's one I like.
Yeah,
you want a good one here? Here's a good price for what I think this fight is. Chitty round 1-2 is plus 125.
I like it.
I think that's as good. You're gonna, and then if he gets a freak submission, you still win. We'll see what FanDuel's round 1, round 2 KO is, but plus 125 to win inside 10 minutes. Yeah, I think you're all right here.
I agree. 2 cents. I can't imagine you're on Duryev here, but you've been surprising before. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, dude, you said it perfectly when you said don't overthink it. Because if you do, you're going to start to play mind games. Well, Chitty does have these losses.
Yeah, you're going to say shit like Jack Attack says here with the stylistic matchup.
Well, technically, Duryev is a grappler, and Chitty's the to get nah, man. Chitty's going to starch him. Durayev's chin will not allow this thing to go deep into the fight. It's not going to go to the third round.
It's his whole skull. It's not just his chin. His whole skull can't take strikes. Every time they do, his eyes puff up.
Chitty, I love what Lou said about the Rodriguez fight. Some refs would have stopped that, and
we saw his brain, dude.
Yeah, I mean, Elder got stopped for less. Elder got stopped for less.
Dude,
you want to literally saw his brain.
Dude, you want to talk about busting someone's head to the fucking white meat? I mean, goddamn. Right. You can't get much closer to someone's fucking gray matter, dude. Chitty's going to knock him out.
And
sometime.
there should be a rule. If you can see the person's brain between rounds, it should be a stoppage.
Justin with the worst read on the Latino ever here. I think Duryev is Mexican and from Texas.
As Trebek once said on Celebrity Jeopardy, and the show has hit a new low.
Dude, power bar is durable, and Chidi fucking one punched him. Duryev is not going to be able to take that kind of punishment.
Fun fact: that was one of the first shows I ever did content wise, and I was like, my most confident play is over 1.5. I did not want to do YouTube the next week.
Nice.
I was like, nope.
Hey, we put it out there so you don't have to.
Well, he's durable.
We watch tape so you don't have to. All right, next fight here. 125. This is a weird fight. This fight stinks to me.
It's a great fight on paper.
Nah, man. They're trying to build up Mr. Cape. They've been Manel Cape, whatever you want to call him. I don't care. Manel, he's great. He's star boy, right? He's on a three fight win streak now. Got the decision over David Vorak in the last fight there. Should have finished him, but did show he can win a decision. That is a relief. They got the finishes of Ode Osborne and August Zumagulov. Really nice. Find me someone who has him losing the fight to Matthias Nicolau. Other than those judges, that was a robbery. And then Pantoja in his debut. So, I mean, Starboy he's legit, man. He was an alternate for a reason. His boxing's really good. My worry with him is the leg kicks of Alex Perez, because that is kind of Alex Perez's strength, the leg kicks in the wrestling. Alex Perez just hasn't been active lately. He's become a dad. He's training at Syndicate MMA now, so he's getting kind of the sloppy seconds of John Wood when he's not working with his wife on her very prominent career of beating Luana Carolina. Perez, I just don't know what Perez we're getting at this point. He has not fought since Pantoja back in last year and just kind of got ran out of there. Before that, you see all the canceled fights after the title shot against Davidson Figueiredo, where he was also choked out very quickly. He's not going to have to worry about the submissions or the wrestling with Kopp, so that's good. But, I mean, Kopp is on a mission right now. Kopp's in the rhythm, and he's very, very good. Showing he can win the decisions now. For me, Perez is kind of wrestle, leg kick, or he really doesn't have much of a chance in this spot. So Manel gets this done. I just think he should be fighting a little more for relevant flyweight at this point than Alex Perez, who looks like he's checked out. So 2 cents.
Yeah, I like it. It's Starboy is the spot. It's funny, dude, because when he first got to the UFC, I was like, dude, this guy's fucking overrated. I had gone back and watched his Ryzen tape, dude,
with his shoes on.
Yeah, like he had some good fights, but then he had some sketchy ones, like Kyoji Horiguchi. He got knocked out like 6 times and then finally got fucking head and arm choke. But like, he has started to put it together. Like, I'm not saying he's a complete finished product, but he looks like he has been improving in some of the things. Like, he's answering some questions about his cardio and his well-roundedness or whatever. But yeah, dude, like, this one is a fade on Perez. You talked about the canceled fights. Motherfuckers had like 8 canceled fights in 2 years.
And apparently should have pulled out of the Pantoja fight too. So,
dude, like, what?
8 fights. That's so much.
That's crazy. And like you said, like, what are we going to get out of this guy? I don't know. Dude, this is a fun game. Take a shot every time someone says something about fucking Alex Perez's leg kicks.
I mean, it's warranted, dude. It's warranted. He has the best leg kick.
They're gonna drive that home really fucking hard. Give me Kopp by something.
Yeah. Do you think it's a finish or do you go decision?
I don't know. Like, probably a decision. Maybe knock some.
I think he puts him away. Honestly,
I won't be surprised, man. He has hurt people that have not been previously hurt like that before, so I don't know.
Yeah. All right, Lou, what's your thoughts?
I just want to say that Noah's comment about Nick Cannon needing to study Alex Perez's pull-out game is like elite level YouTube content right there.
Yeah, Noah's solid. Noah really comes.
If you go look at Kopp's last 3 fights, okay? The Osborne one's weird because Osborne came out hot and Kopp just kind of caught him. But Kopp was just kind of feeling him out in the first round. I think he was just kind of downloading data. The fight against Zalgas, I don't know how you rate Zalgas, but he fucked him up. And like nobody knocks Zalgas out. Like
Not like that.
It was impressive. But the last fight against Dvorak, I think, was most impressive of all because I know he won by decision, but my God, I think Dvorak's good. And Kopp just absolutely demolished him. So
Justin with another hot take here.
Another gem.
The Silva should be minus 250 against Perez.
So I think, and look, Perez, one thing that we haven't talked about, I talked about you earlier in the day, is I don't typically like doing the social media stuff for a lot of these fighters, but with Perez, he's not even showing any indication he's really training. He's showing he just had a kid. Everything's about his son. You know, with all the fights that he hasn't had, I don't know how much more he even wants to be in the cage. Kopp's kind of just shaking off the bad start to his career. I think Kopp gets him out of there, and he probably gets him out of there early. Perez is going to probably have, Perez is going to be wild for 2 minutes. Kopp can catch him coming in, or Kopp can just take his time and pick him apart and let Perez fatigue. I like in the distance at plus 110 because I actually think the sub's kind of sneaky here for Kopp. If this thing does hit the ground and Perez is gassed, or if he's gassed just shooting takedowns to get out of range, I think Kopp's pretty good on the ground. I mean, knockout's more likely, sure, but it's his sub's only plus 425. His KO's 200. So even they're saying hey, man, the sub's not as dead as you think. I think you give me plus 110 against Perez's usual fight condition. And for Kopp, I think is on the right. I mean, Dvorak, by the way, super tough to get out of a fight. Yeah. So, and he dominated. That wasn't competitive.
No, and it was good to see.
He almost ripped his arm off. I mean,
it wasn't a typical Kopp decision where he's playing with his food either. He just
I don't think there was a 10-8 in there, but I feel like the third round was almost a 10-8 for Kopp. He was going for that finish. He was not content, which I love. You love to see when a guy's up 2 rounds and he's like, "No, I'm not coasting."
He was getting heavily criticized in those losses, those first 2, even though they're against good competition. That was always the knock on him, and it looked like
his expectation. He came in as a title alternate. I mean,
it looked like kind of got a chip on his shoulder about that and shored some shit up. He's at a good gym too.
Yeah. Last comment I want to make before we move on. Remember that Kopp for most of his career fought in boots.
Right. He couldn't use his kicks.
What I'm saying is, I think it took him a transitional period to get used to fighting barefoot. I really do. And I'm not using that as an excuse for the Pantoja. Pantoja is awesome.
Right.
But even the Nicolau loss, he was low volume. He didn't look steady. He wasn't getting into range. I think now he's kind of, the more practice he's had being barefoot, the more you're starting to see him now he's comfortable in range. I mean, Osborne was throwing more volume, but he wasn't really landing anything substantial. I mean, Kopp is good at just, staying out. Dvorak didn't do shit to him. And Dvorak's the best guy he fought in his last 3 fights. So,
yeah. No, I agree. Minus 190, approaching minus 200, plus 150 on Mr. Perez. We're all on Kopp there. Next fight, another flyweight, this time the women's flyweight, Andrea Lee versus Macy, the future Barber. This fight. Not really that excited about this fight, if I'm being honest. I'm not a huge Macy Barber fan. I don't think her game is that great. She kind of just moves forward, puts a lot of pressure on you against the cage, uses some boxing, and that's kind of it. If you let her bully and keep you in the clinch, you have a long night. Andrea Lee, however you want to say it, she's had issues with this in the past, kind of being controlled by her opponents a little bit too much. Being kind of out physical. I think that's what happens here again. Macy Barber is a very good matchup for her to kind of do her Macy Barber game plan. Andrea Lee will play into it, I think, and she's just not dangerous enough or active enough for me to really keep or punish Macy Barber in the spot. So Macy, I mean, just isn't trustworthy though. She lost to Miranda Maverick. You can figure out she doesn't make adjustments as the game goes on. I'm going to go with Andrea Lee by a very, very close decision. I think Macy Barber wins the first round. Andrea Lee ekes out 2, or one way or the other. But, maybe it's a split. This could be a split candidate. And either way, I think it's just so, so close. I'll get Andrea Lee just because I don't think Macy Barber's learned a damn thing from her losses or from her win that wasn't a win against Miranda Maverick. So, yeah, Andrea Lee, but gross. Split decision, 2 cents. Right? Or whoever's. I lost track at this point.
Might be Lou for this.
Lou, good.
Andrea Lee, split decision, plus 1,400. Here is your Texas robbery. Here's your Texas robbery all day. I can't stand watching Macy Barber. She still didn't beat Miranda Maverick. I don't care. That's a terrible result. Does she have grappling upside? Because I don't think she does. She's just a weight bully. She gets people against the cage. She doesn't really do much if she does get anybody on the ground. Andrea Lee hasn't really sustained any damage. She does throw enough volume to make these rounds really interesting. I mean, this is going to go to the judges like 90% of the time, unless there's like a freak injury. I think Lee does enough. I think Lee can do enough late as well. Like, I know people like to use this whole age gap as a metric, but I think it's like a straw man argument because some people start later. Some people haven't sustained damage. Andrea Lee hasn't taken a lot of damage in his career, and she doesn't fight every 3 months. So she's prolonged her career. I don't think she's young 33 here. So I think Andrea Lee can steal one. Like, the split decision prop is great at plus 1,400. That's going to be not a spoiler alert for my show this week, but a prop to consider and then maybe bet. So
that's the only bet I want to make on this fight.
I mean, fight goes to split I don't even think it's like that great. I'll tell you what it is right now. It's
okay.
It is plus 400.
Oh my God, they know.
So you don't. Well, that's kind of like the baseline. The lowest I've ever seen is like plus 350. So plus 400, you're not really getting a lot of value there. I mean, I'll bet it anyway because you always have to bet all 3 angles of the split to maximize your profit mathematically.
Yeah.
Barber's like plus 600. You're not really doing well there, but I think Andrea Lee plus 1,400 is on. If internet legend Joe Solis is there, it's super live. Can we get the other guy that gave that was giving out 30-27s last week to Morales? Can we get him as a judge for this too?
Please. Move him into the Texas Athletic Commission. 2 cents. Are you on the future?
Oh God, another one, please. If there's a higher power, they will fucking cancel this fight. Please, dude. This fight sucks. I really don't like either one of these fighters. They're both jobbers. I get not liking Macy Barber. She's put on some of the most ridiculous looking performances, dude. Like the shadow boxing at range.
Yeah.
And like it wasn't even to set anything up. She was literally just throwing the strikes 5 feet away from her opponent. This is the thing, though. And the reason I'm picking Macy Barber, I know I understand the argument. Like, just because she's younger doesn't mean she's going to win. But she is only 24, and she's had quite a few fights, quite a few UFC fights for only being 24. I'm not saying she's going to be vastly improved. I think that Andrea Lee, maybe not completely indicative of her last couple performances, especially her last couple wins, but I do think that she is like closer to being on the way out than Macy. Like, their careers, I'm not going to say they're going in completely different directions, but I think Macy does have more upside. I do think, I don't hate that Texas robbery at all. Andrea Lee is a yeehaw cowgirl Texan. She's going to be there with she's going to be drumming it up with the fans. She's going to have the cowboy hat at the weigh-in, the Daisy Deuce at the weigh-in. I totally get that angle. I think that is slick butthole. I think Andrea Lee, it's probably Andrea Lee or past. Though it's too wide for Macy. She's not that good, but I do think, and you mentioned it, like, Andrea Lee can get bullied. Macy is a fucking bully, if nothing else.
We know she was born in Louisiana. She'll claim Texas. Stop. Well, for this one, I wouldn't be surprised. And she's trained out of Texas for a lot of her career. She can have the judges. Don't worry. She will definitely have the judges over the Colorado chick. Yeah. But yeah, I hate it. I would never bet this. Give me Macy by,
I don't know, man. I think if Macy wins, she will kind of make it look. I think she's definitely the heavier-handed striker. Some people will disagree with that, but I don't know, man. I'm not buying that Andrea Lee is all of a sudden some knockout artist. I think it's more just her last one being a bit of a fraud. But I'll fucking take Macy by decision. But I don't know. Like I won't hate it if she gets robbed. I'm not a huge Barber fan, but I think she's better than some people give her. I think she's a little overhated, but I don't think she's that great either.
Yeah, and it's just with Andrea Lee plus 220. It is tempting to want to bet. I'm not sure if I'm going to get there or not. Minus 275 on Macy Barber. I am sure I'm never getting to. So that's good. Do it. What's that?
That line is crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it is forcing you to take a shot on the Louisiana and Texan in Andrea Lee. Next fight.
I couldn't use a sombrero for that last fight. I'm really sorry. I wanted to, but I couldn't.
Yeah, Lee is definitely a white supremacist, according to Noah. Okay, sure. Why not? I think she got away from one, but I'm not sure if she was one herself, but who knows? Next fight. This is going to be a banger. I'm really excited for this one. However long it lasts. Might go off 15 minutes. I think if it does, it's still going to be a really great fight. Nate Landwehr, Austin Lingo. For me, with Austin Lingo, I like this matchup way more for him than Ricardo Ramos. For me, I think that Austin Lingo, when he has somebody who is just kind of working in front of him, like Nate Landwehr will do, Lingo has really straight, good boxing, really powerful as well, and he's a grinder. Showed that, I mean, at least against Luis Saldana, who Luis Saldana obviously falls off a cliff after like 3 minutes of any sort of action. So there was that, but Nate does not do that. Nate's going to keep coming forward. He's had his moments, but honestly, I think the part of Nate's career that people don't pay enough attention to is the M1 part of his career before the UFC. He was being brought into fights over and over again to lose these fucking Russians, and he just wouldn't lose these fights. Like these Americans, like look at what Johnny Cage is doing over there. Like look at what
Johnny Cage.
Yeah, whatever his name is. Isn't that his name?
That's the guy from Mortal Kombat, dude.
Yeah, and it was also an MMA fighter. Wasn't it? It wasn't it John Cage, whatever his name was. But there's a bunch of guys over there. You have Brooks as well has gone over. I mean, it's not easy to be an American over in these M1, these Russian promotions. And then he came over. He did get starched by Herbert Burns. That's really hard to look past and forgive. Lingo coming in on short notice here, even though he was preparing for a fight against a very, very different Johnny Case. I'm sorry. Johnny fucking Case. Oh my God. Dude, one letter off. That's not bad.
Well, it's bad.
Everybody knew who I meant. Everybody. Johnny Case. Look at his record over with over in Japan. But either way, I like this fight. I think it's really close, much closer than the odds indicate. I just don't have enough information on Austin Lingo because he's been out for so long. I don't know how much he's really improved at this point. Johnny Case, fine. I am sorry. I'm dealing with a lot. I don't write things down. I smoke too much weed. What else do you want out of me? Lingo, I think Lingo gets worn down as this fight goes, though. I really wanted to find an angle to go with Lingo and go for the upset. I do think early on his power is legit, but I just think that Nate makes enough of the defensive adjustments as this goes, and I think just pours on a pace that's going to be hard for Lingo on short notice to prepare for here. So I am going to go with Nate. I hate the price. I don't know if Nate gets a finish or not either. I don't have a huge read on this fight. And if Lingo is much improved, I think those straight shots could really put away Nate early even. So that my more concern with Austin Lingo is faster, more crafty types of fighters, which is why I thought Ramos was really going to have a lot of success in that fight, getting it to the grappling. Here, he doesn't have a crafty guy with Nate. Nate just wants to stand in front and go. So, but Nate does not stop. So I'm gonna go with Nate. I'm not confident, not minus 270 confident, that's for sure. What's your thoughts on this one? 2 cents.
Oh man, this is dude, you want to talk about scratch and gravel out in front of the trailer park, dude. This is Texas versus Tennessee right here, Bobo.
Mm-hmm.
They gonna throw down, man. I actually like this fight. I think this could be one of the more entertaining fights of the night, potentially. I think it kind of depends on how Landwehr approaches it, because I agree with what you said about Lingo. If he goes in there and wants to do what he does a lot of the time and be crazy and throw down and be a tough guy, he's giving Lingo his path to victory. Dude, if you go back and watch that David Onama fight, he was getting fucked up really badly early. Mm-hmm. Onama just gassed himself out trying to finish him. Mm-hmm. Now, like on paper, you would say, okay, Ludovic Klein, David Onama, probably better fighters than Austin Lingo. I'll concede that. But to me, man, I'm just not that high on Landwehr.
Yeah.
It's not like that he's bad. I think he's an overperformer. He really kind of like weaponizes his cardio, but I really don't like his chin. Austin Lingo hits really fucking hard. Mm-hmm. I'm actually going to take a shot on the dog. I just got a weird feeling Austin's going to clip him. He was getting ready for another fight, but he was saying even like leading up to that fight, like I'm going to try and get in and out of there early. If Nate grapples, I think he could smoke Lingo. Like I think he's a way more dangerous submission grappler. I think he could choke Lingo if he takes it to the ground. I just don't trust him to do that. I think Landwehr is a dumbass, like when it comes to just like fighting in general. Like he's tough. He's a tough old Tennessee Bobo, but he's kind of a dumb fuck. And like I think he will give Lingo his path to victory. So let me get that old Lingo KO. Texas crowd going crazy. Let's fucking go. Lingo KO, baby. Lights out.
I don't hate the dog shot at all. I have no interest in betting this fight. Lou.
Yeah, you know when you bet Landwehr when he's plus 300, when he's plus 250. You don't bet him when he's like a massive favorite here. You have it's dog or pass for the bet. I actually don't like a finish prop. I think this fight goes the distance. Landwehr cardio is pretty good. Lingo's never been finished. Seems, like the limited tape we've seen. I know he had a layoff, but pretty tough dude. And, I want to something that just my 2 cents said. If Landwehr wanted to wrestle here, it would be a pretty good path. But he won't. And we know he won't, because his whole thing is like, I'm going to put on a show and I'm trying to win 50K. And it's just going to stay on the feet for 15 minutes. I think Lingo's tough, dude. And look, again, Lingo's been in camp. So I think he'll be, the cardio is going to be all right. We'll see what he looks like, though. He's never fought a dude with a pace like Landwehr. Like Landwehr could just pour it on and throw like 140 strikes in the second round. But I think Lingo hangs in there to the end. It's dog or pass betting wise, but I like fight goes the distance if you really want to clench your cheeks.
Okay. Yeah, no, good stuff. I think we all are pretty much in agreement here that this price is pretty impossible. And as a result, we're seeing money come in a little bit on Lingo, minus 250 now on Landwehr.
I mean, if Landwehr somehow gets below minus 200, he's not going to.
But no, he won't.
But if he gets to like around that range, all of a sudden, maybe I'm interested in him in a parlay piece at like that range, but never at this price.
Yeah, no, I agree. It is third from the top, but we can't beat this co-main event, can we? The 41-year-old new 6-fight contract, the preacher's daughter, Holly Holm. She's back, and she's here to wrestle Yana Santos in her first fight as Yana Santos. Formerly Yana Kunitskaya. I'll be honest, I've never been very impressed by Yana. I get she has a few wins, but it just, like, with this fight here, like, this is just yucky to me. I don't want anything to do with it. I hate the price. They're trying to get me to bet Yana Santos, and I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to assume Holly Holm is going to do what she's been doing recently, which is being Holly the wrestler decision maker. Gets another decision here. First of 6 fights on her contract, although Jessica Andrade just signed the 6-fight contract and then got embarrassed, albeit against Erin Blanchfield. So the contract, not necessarily a good omen for me at all. But Holly Holm by decision, right, Lou?
Yeah, but so I want to try to get a little clever here with the betting. I want to see if because I don't see how Yana Santos wins. Like, she doesn't do anything that typically bothers Holm. She's not high pressure. She's just kind of like there. I want to know what Holly Holm in a same game parlay with her having the most takedowns or her having one takedown or more. If you can get that number to even money, I love it, dude. Like last week, I made a bet with Gunnar Nelson. It was that there's one takedown in the first and that he has the most takedowns, and it was minus 115.
Nice.
Like completely cut down the minus 300. So if you can get clever here and play with these same games, because Holm's been going for takedowns.
She's a wrestler.
I mean, I think she's gonna get one takedown here. I mean, she's not getting a 2-minute KO. I think she gets one takedown here, and all of a sudden you can cut that minus 240 to probably even money.
Yeah.
So
no, I don't mind it.
You know, I'll play around with that.
You have Holm by decision, right?
Yeah, and by the way, worst co-main of the year, didn't we have? I think we had. Was it Vandera and that fucking dude from the Contenders series?
Waldo Cortez.
Yeah.
Waldo?
Didn't we have Waldo Acosta and Van? Like this is close. They're comparable.
They would have had the gall like during COVID to make this a main event.
I mean, Tanner Bozer's going to be in a co-main event in a few weeks too. Like,
didn't we have like Cynthia Calvillo versus Jessica I in a main event during COVID?
I drank a lot.
Cynthia Calvillo versus Jessica I. I'm pretty sure was a main event during COVID. So we got ways to go. I think Johnny said that the UFC is getting watered down. What are you talking about? We got 41-year-old versus Yana Santos here from Russia. Just my 2 cents. You on the Santos train?
Oh God, Jesus, dude, they wouldn't even made this fight 5 years ago. I don't like the idea of picking a 41-year-old, but she's absolutely the side. Like, what the fuck? How is Yana gonna win? How is she gonna win? I don't.
Arthritis.
I don't see a
preacher's daughter has arthritis. I don't know.
Yeah, home having an injury. Like, this sounds crazy. I would not be surprised if Holly stopped her. Hear me out now. Here. I'm not saying it's gonna
Her
happen.
last stoppage was Betch Cohen round 3.
Hear me out now. If she normally, when she's against someone that she knows is really dangerous, she's going to do her Holly Holm thing, stay on the outside, be the outfighter, pop the jab, low kick, whatever. If she senses that Santos doesn't have anything for her in the feet, and I don't think she will start to pour it on a little bit. I'm going to say it's a Holly.
Will she?
Maybe. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. So I possibly not. So let me go Holly decision, but I wouldn't be surprised. And I'll definitely gloat like I was super confident about it the whole time if she does knock her out. But yeah, I'm going to probably say home decision. But I think she's going to tune her up, man. Yana is really shitty on the feet. And like, I don't know, man. Holly's just a better fighter, even at 41. So yeah, give me home.
Yeah. Remember when was Norma Dumont a main event?
Against Aspen Ladd, yeah.
Oh God.
That was the one where her coach was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" Like the whole fight. By the way, fun fact: Holly Holm only 4 years younger than I am.
Yeah,
so, there you go.
I mean, she looks at least 4 years older than you. Canceled the
co-main
event.
I'm doing it right for 45. Like if I'm,
yeah, you look great. Yeah, no, Matthew Castellanos, one of the OGs here, canceled a co-main event, made Chito and Sandhagen 10 rounds.
I'm all for it. All for it.
Like, I don't know who would vote against that except Cory Sandhagen.
Then I want to know what Cheeto round 9 KO is.
What is Cheeto on
I get like plus 18,000 for round 9 KO?
Jack, seriously, what did we as fans do to deserve this? Holm has started to look slower, hard for her to recover from menopause and PDs. I need to start reading these before I read them out loud because again.
By the way, one last thing. This is about the 6-fight contract because Jones has an 8-fight contract. I think they're just doing this now. They're locking people up so that they once their fight career is over, they're just going to get a job in the UFC. Right. This is just to make them just solely like to work for the UFC. Like, there's no way she's fighting 6 more fights.
Yeah, no.
So,
I mean, well, Marion Renault fought to be like 53, right?
but she might fight like 1 or 2 more fights, and then like they'll give her a job in the UFC. But more importantly, she can't go to like bare knuckle boxing and like just get a quick buck. I think this is just a new thing they're going to start doing.
Yeah. No,
And look,
fair enough.
if you're 40 and you're probably on like a fight by fight basis, and they say, look, we'll give you an X fight
Security.
contract, but you get financial security out of it. I mean, it's hard not to take that. So,
No.
and Holmes been in the UFC her whole career. I don't think she's going to be like, you know what? I want to try out like fucking Bellator at age 44 and see how I do there, even though they'll give me a title shot, literally my debut.
Right. She could go over to Bellator and like reinvent herself, basically.
But they'd have to pay her like
no,
an
they
insane
can't.
amount of money.
Yeah,
Like,
it's just business. All right, main event time. Decent main event if you're into good fighters. Chito Vera taking on Cory Sandhagen in this fight. I mean, I don't really know what needs to really be said in this fight. I think that both guys are very, very good. I think that the fact that Chito's being completely counted out to win a decision or win by any way except by KO after losing early is kind of a little bit ridiculous. I really do think that overall, I have already taken a bet on Chito at plus 135. I'll say that first and foremost. I am planning to bet him after round 2 and round 1, both rounds. I do think that this is a fight where Chito has a lot of finishing ability late. I do think he has the ability to win a decision, so I'm okay with my live bets as well. If I had a way that I think this fight personally ends, I don't think it's a KO. I do think the submission is the way that I could see Chito getting Cory out of there, whether it's by hurting him on the feet and kind of seeing Cory make a mistake going for the wrestling, or even from the bottom. Like, Vera has very tricky triangles, arm bars. He started as a grappler, and people, I think, have forgotten that. I don't think Chito completely has forgotten that. I think it's a really good fight. Cory definitely can win it. Cory can finish as well. I do think Chito's the much more likely finisher of the two. And the decision, I don't hate either. I think leg kicks could play a key factor as well in this fight. If Chito's able to get the range with those leg kicks and affect the movement of Cory, I think that it could really, really help him moving forward into the fight. I'll be interested to see how Chito responds to the wrestling of Cory. If Cory chooses to wrestle, it's a really interesting fight. I've said this a lot, but there's nobody who I think benefits from 5 rounds more than Marlon Chito Vera with his fight style and just overall with his game plan. And I think that 3 rounds, I get Cory being the favorite. I truly think in 5 rounds, Marlon should be the slight favorite. So that's why I'm okay taking him at the money line. I'm not sure if he gets a finish or not. I'm leaning towards a sub finish later on, but either way, it could just end up being them standing and banging here as it goes. So I'm not going to get married to like the sub play or anything. I really am happy I got plus money on Chito in this spot. I think that some people really understand Chito, and I think some people really misunderstand Chito. You can look at all the stats you want. That's not what Chito's here for. It's a great fight. I get both sides. I'm a Marlon Chito fan till I die, right until the wheels fall off. The live betting has worked beautifully lately, of course. And I get the excuses with Rob Font. He was broken. Okay, well, Dom Cruz was old. There's excuses for everybody. I looked at Cory Sandhagen in the last fight. I didn't see an improved Cory Sandhagen. I kind of wasn't too impressed by that. I get it. Song has a win over Vera. I think Vera won that fight personally. But again, I'm biased. He's my favorite fighter. Caution beware. You can take it with what you will. That's why I have other people on here to talk about it. But I like Chito Vera. I've already bet him. I put my money where my mouth is. So I don't know who it's on. 2 cents to here or Lou? I lost track. Sorry. Lou or 2 cents. Go ahead.
It don't matter. Okay. Well, it's funny. When I started thinking about which avatar I was going to choose, I was going to really be a shit heel and like I had this perfect picture selected with a bag of Cheetos and like a hand coming out of it with like Cheeto dust all over it. And I was just going to fucking come in here and shit on Cheeto. But nah, man, Cheeto has definitely impressed me. He is a dude that I had really like counted out and just kind of thought of as like an overperforming jobber. He's definitely not a jobber. Like he's definitely shown to be a top bantamweight, but I am picking Cory Sandhagen. And I'll tell you why. First of all, I love what you said about the Cheeto side. And I do think if Cheeto wins, it is going to be a submission. Cory has shown grappling deficiencies, and Cheeto is so much better on the ground than Cory. I don't think it's close. Like, if Cheeto wrestles and grapples or takes advantage, like reverses or sweeps Sandhagen if he tries to go heavy with the wrestling, I think Cheeto is a much better ground fighter, but I don't think he can win a decision. He starts too slow. Even in these fights that he's winning, he's really hittable, dude. He's getting tuned up by these guys. You can't start slow and just let yourself get tuned up by Cory and be counting on some big shot that hurts him to steal you the round. Sandhagen is tougher than that. He is a good outfighter. He's good at staying at range, finding his shots. Yeah, Cheeto is a sniper. He'll get the reads, but Sandhagen will do that too. And Sandhagen will put more of a pace on him. The cardio is similar. I do think Cheeto is a good, longer round fighter. But, dude, Sandhagen trains in Colorado. He's got good cardio. He works at a high clip. I don't think it's like I get the Cheeto side. I'm like 65-35, 70-30 Sandhagen. I have been a Cheeto detractor in the past, but he has proved me wrong. So again, buyer beware on that. I did have a slight bias against Cheeto. I do think Song won that fight. I think it was really close. I think people have made a lot of money betting Cheeto, and he's a really popular underdog that has like been really good to a lot of people. I don't think that Cory is like washed or chinny or like over the hill, like you can say with a lot of these guys. And I think he's a little bit better and well, not on paper, but like at this point in his career, I think he's got a little bit more for Cheeto than some of these other guys that he's been getting behind on the scorecards with. So with all that, give me Sandhagen.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough, Lou. What side are you on close main event?
Vera. One of the funny things I've heard this week is like, will Sandhagen go to his wrestling? He was 1 for 14 on takedowns against Song Yadong. So like, he shouldn't. I wouldn't think. If he goes, I just don't see his path. Everything he does, he doesn't do anything wrong, but he doesn't do anything like amazing. Like just my 2 cents that he stays out of range. Yes, he does. I give him that. He's pretty good. He's very good at range management. I don't know that that's going to matter here because Vera's just going to at some point blitz him and be like, I don't care about your range. If this thing hits the ground, I don't know that I super favor Vera. I think Sandhagen's okay off his back. He's okay when he's in good grappling positions, but getting the fight to the ground is not something Sandhagen is historically good at. If you're telling me this is 25 minutes of striking, Vera's going to have the moments. Yeah, like Sandhagen is going to probably out-volume him in round 1, but Vera's going to land the more meaningful shots. I do think there's a path for Vera by decision also, because Sandhagen's a pretty tough dude. Vera could just wound him round 3, 4, and 5. Sandhagen can hang in there. He can lose the decision. I don't think he's not KO or bust. And I think I agree. Like it almost makes me want to bet Vera decision just because nobody thinks it's going to happen. And like,
I don't hate it.
It's not inconceivable to me. And that's giving Sandhagen a lot of credit too, because Sandhagen, like I said, it's a tough dude. Like he got blitzed in round 1 So other than that, he's shown really good durability.
Right.
I just don't want to get like, let's put it this way. And I said this, I think like Sunday, everybody on my timeline's on Sandhagen, and I understand why they're on Sandhagen. I don't feel like freaking out for 25 minutes that Vera is just going to do Vera things and like at some point take over this fight. It's also not a lock that Vera is winning round 4 and 5. Everybody seems to think that's like the linear way this fight's going to go. Sandhagen early, Vera late. Sandhagen's cardio is good. Like, it doesn't mean he's going to lose, but, you know, because he didn't lose like any speed off his punches against Jan. Jan was just the better striker as the fight went on. I think Sandhagen also didn't respect Jan's power, and he's going to have to here against Vera. The last thing I'm going to add here is I don't like the narrative nation stuff if I can avoid it. But don't you think we're kind of on a crash course toward Vera against O'Malley at some point for a title, like a year from now? Doesn't that kind of feel like
an international
they
fight
really
league.
like that is like that's a fight they can sell easily can run a pay-per-view. Vera against Sugar Show, sponsored by the Sugar State Athletic Commission. I think Vera, and if this thing goes decision, it could be greasy for Vera. Greasy. So
yeah, dude, it's Texas. There's definitely going to be some Latino, Hispanic fans in the crowd for sure. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion that like Chito's going to hurt him at the end of every round. I think that's what a lot of people are banking on. Cheeto, he'll just hurt him eventually. Why? Cory doesn't get hurt that much. I don't get that narrative.
I 100% agree. I don't like, that's why everybody thinks it's like, oh, Vera's going to easily win rounds 4 and 5. I don't necessarily agree with that either. There's a lot of different ways this fight can play out. But for me,
what's the over 4.5 at?
I think it's juiced. But yeah, because they're not giving Cory any finish equity here, and you understand why. He's not. He's not
a deadly finisher, right?
I mean, look, he looked good against Song Yadong, like in some of those rounds, like, but that was a close fight. Like that wasn't like he didn't steamroll him. I think Vera right now. I think just get at him. I don't want to get in Vera's way right now, like at all.
Yeah.
Like,
no, I get it.
If Sandhagen's wrestling was better, like, I mean, the way Aldo backpacked him in the third, yeah, it sucked. Like the way that he beat him, but it was he vet savvied him. If Sandhagen, if I knew Sandhagen could do that here and neutralize him completely, then I wouldn't feel confident here. But I don't think Sandhagen can. I think it's 25 minutes on the feet. Yeah, I think Vera's going to have the minutes where he just absolutely. I think he is going to hurt Sandhagen at least once in this fight. But
yeah, I definitely see.
But it's a great fight either way. Like either way, like it should be really fun.
Yeah, this is a appropriate main event for sure.
Yeah.
And just really quick, and we'll get our final thoughts. My 5 fight parlay. Just let me know when you're ready, Lou. But this is for Zhang Li, of course.
I'm done. Vera and the live bet angle, of course.
No. And we got 2 on Vera, 1 on Mr. Sandhagen. Really quick 5 fight. So I'll give you the 5 I've got, but I've got Victor Altamirano to start it out. Needless to say, I got him quite handily in his fight there. I also will be fading Mr. Daniel Da Silva as CJ Vergara. I am adding him to this. Steven Peterson, putting him in against Lucas Alexandre. Chitty bang bang time because I'm not overthinking it. And Manel Kopp. So there's my 5 fights. Sorry, I went away from the mic there. That's why you couldn't hear me. But did you get those?
Yes.
Okay. Lou?
Yeah, I heard it. I'm not betting it. I heard it.
Did you add them up? I don't have my site up. That's why I was having
all
you
right,
put it.
Oh, the hell with
Right.
it. Give it to me again.
One more time. Victor Altamirano.
Uh-huh.
We obviously, and you don't have to bet it. Fine. CJ Vergara. I bet these every week. I love this parlay. Steven Peterson, Chitty, Manel Kopp.
Just looking for, there it is.
It's way better than last week's plus.
Yeah, a little better than that. Plus 979.
Plus 9.
Woo!
Plus 979, sir. I am sorry if you're not betting that. I am going to bet that with my McDonald's money. All $20 of it.
My Andrea Lee split decision pays more than that 5-teamer.
What's more work? What's more work here? Victor Altamirano, CJ Vergara against Daniel Da Silva. I'm just taking the free. You have to go through a lot of work to get this.
I'm betting the rig job. I'm betting the rig job.
You're betting the rig job. That's totally fine. Yeah, Chito inside the distance for Lobby. Jimmy St. Torres by sub is a lock, so he's with you, Lou. Yeah, it should be a good card. I mean, it's up and down this card. Let's be honest. Friday MMA is really great though. Cage Warriors is on Friday to start out. There's also PFL Europe on Saturday that I guess you can watch if you're desperate. And there's also the LFA on Friday as well. So yeah, there's some good MMA on Friday. What else is coming up on Friday, Lou?
The happy hour, exclusively
the
on
one
the
and
MMA
only.
Engine at 5. This is by the way, show number 49. And the big question is, will I have my partner and will I be drunk? Always questions that you have to ask every week. If the answer is my partner's not there and I've been drinking, they're the best shows you're going to see all week.
Correct. Are you going to San Antonio for the fights or no?
I am not.
Okay, you're not. Okay, I was curious about that. 2 cents.
I did make chili though.
There we go. That's all that matters. 2 cents. What you got coming up on Friday? Any other thoughts on this upcoming week in the Mecca with the kind of the merge? See if we can both survive on our sides. I got the team 5.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Ark and everyone in the Mecca. Best of luck this week, boys. You're gonna need it. Some of these picks, man, are really sketchy, but nah, man. Best of luck to everyone. Thanks again for having me on. It's always a good time. It was great fun getting to like lord over Lou with this fucking co-host status here. That was fun. But nah, man, shout out to you guys. Thanks again and best of luck, everyone. Let's get it.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. I like this card, and this is, as always, extremely helpful to talk with you guys on these fights. I have a lot more clarity on my approach now after this. Hopefully it can help everybody else out. Definitely check these guys out throughout the week. 2 cents will be back on Friday as well with the weigh-in show, I assume. And then, yeah, prepare for like 5 MMA cards this weekend between Friday and Saturday. I will be back in a little bit with I believe the Cage Warriors 151 breakdown, which is also for Friday. So I'll probably be back solo to do that in a little bit. But thanks everybody for the support, putting up with me and my Johnny Cage Tapology report there. You can't say that, I don't know what I'm talking about, right? Anyways, peace out, everybody. Good luck.